Well, we don't have to take so long, because when we were in Melbourne a couple of weeks back, we did a live recording of the audience doing a rabbit hole topic. So we might just cross over to them right now. How's that sound?
That sounds like a great idea. Take them down the rabbit hole.
Okay, let's go.
Now, something official that we normally do on our podcast is something called a rabbit hole topic, where I throw a random question at Philip and he talks about it, and
he panics slightly every time.
Yeah, so we normally do this in Sydney when I'm there, because I haven't been to Melbourne before, I haven't done it, but I like doing these and getting the live audience participation. So any interaction that we have with you, we're going to put that on a forthcoming podcast. So keep that in mind. If you want to be on the podcast, speak as much as you like, because it's going to be there.
We have 10 minutes.
All right. So, with that said, I'm going to put in some special effects when I say, let's jump down the rabbit hole. There you go. Special effects, you'll see that. And my question to you, Philip, is, it's a very simple question. I've probably asked you this before, but we listen to a lot of audio, as the name of our podcast suggests. And how do you prefer to listen to it? Some people like it driving in the car. Some people listen to it as they fall asleep and hear the first 5 minutes of every story. How do you prefer to listen to your audio?
Definitely wouldn't listen to it falling asleep, because I would be asleep in no time. I do most of my audio listening in the car. I have 6 children. I spend a large amount of my time driving my children places. Fortunately, most of them are growing up now, but there's dance every afternoon. I'm going to drive to and from. So a lot of my audio listening happens in the car. I used to try and not do too much, because my daughter used to always put her headphones in, and I thought it was making her cranky. And then I stopped listening to her so I could talk to her. And she said, "Dad, can you start listening to some audios again? Because I really like listening to my music, and I'd rather do that than talk to you anyway." So I actually realised I was actually making her happy by putting on my audio, so she could put her headphones in and listen to what she wanted to listen to. So most of mine would be in the car. I've got waterproof headphones now, so I've started doing some in the pool while I'm swimming laps, trying to get some exercise up, pretending to get healthier. So most of mine listening in the car.
Excellent. In the noughties, I used to listen to audio just on the stereo in the house, so I'd have it blasting loud. And that's probably why she divorced me in the end. So I progressed, it used to be in the car as well, but I've progressed lately. I think the best audio experiences with headphones, particularly noise-cancelling headphones, because there are things in the audios that, particularly Big Finish, that you hear that you won't hear just listening in a car. So they're our thoughts. What are your thoughts? How do you like to listen to audio? And what do you think the benefits of the way you listen to it are? All right.
Thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, back in the night, like I said, the noughties, but anyway, I used to buy the cassettes of the audio soundtracks, like with the missing stories. Well, first I bought Evil of the Daleks, Power of the Daleks, Macro Terror, blah, blah, blah. And then I decided to buy some stories I haven't even heard of, like Paradise of Death and The Ghost of M Space, starring John Pertwee. And I used to play them a lot in the car when I had the cassette player. And then late in the late 90s, I moved on to CDs and things like that. And then after a while, CDs phased out. But just recently, I started buying soundtracks on vinyl.
Old school.
Yes, because I still got a record player. And listening to on vinyl, as what people keep saying, is the clearest sound you'll probably get, because all this has been redigitised. And
that's beautiful coloured vinyl too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Colours too.
Well, this was released a few months ago, the Highlanders soundtrack. The Crusade's coming out in October. That's probably another coloured vinyl version. So this is probably how I like to listen to them, because I could just put the record on, just walk away and leave it, and then just come back and relax on the couch and just say, oh yeah, and just imagine seeing the story in real life as I'm listening to it.
And have to come back every 2-3 minutes to turn it over.
Yes. Well, actually, if I play side 1 of this, I could just put side 2, and then I could stack the second record on top of this.
Oh, you're 2 and 3 together. I know. Yeah, that's exciting.
Because I've got one of the old school record players. It's the old school stacker one. So there you are. So that's It's probably like this nowadays, is like going back to old school, is how I like to listen to soundtracks.
Great. Thank you very much. Just a question though before you sit down. Paradise of Death and the Ghost of End Space.
Yeah, they're on
how did
vinyl.
that affect your sanity? They're hard to listen sometimes. Especially the Ghost of End
Death
Space.
was set between the Paradise of Death was set between the Time Warrior and the Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Because you hear in Paradise of Death, you hear the doctor say, "Sarah Dean, you know you had old Iron Groll and his chums." And there you are. And so when I listen to them, I just wish they just made live episodes of them. Yeah. Because you've got a 5-part story of Paradise of Death and a 6-part of Ghost of End Space.
Yeah. Peter Miles, of course, doing his great Nida.
Yeah. Yeah, they had Nicholas Courtney did Brigadier. They had all the old cast members, John Pertwee, the Doctor, as usual. And then you got Sarah Jane Smith. And then you got the Brigadier. All the sort of like unit stories, like all through the Pertwee era. So there you are.
Cool. Anyone else have any thoughts on how they prefer to listen to audio? Because I'm going to call on someone in a moment. I've spotted someone. Yes.
So I prefer to listen to audio while doing the dishes because it means I'm actually doing something while doing something I hate. I also listen with aftershocks, which are bone conducting. And I found that they give...
Say that again, sorry.
Aftershocks?
I thought you said after shots.
I mean, well... but yeah, gives a very clear experience where it almost feels like you're right there because it's bone conducting, it's right in your head. And on the note of Ghosts of End Space and Paradise of Death, I also love it. Sorry.
It's okay to love it. It's okay. I just find particularly Ghost of End Space is very hard slog. That one.
I know it's terrible, but I'm listening here.
It's so bad, it's good. All right. Anyone else over here? Oh, was there someone over here that...
I was going to bed. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't listened to audios for a long time, but they're all podcasts generally. I come to YouTube like in the last few years, but back in the noughties, as you would say, I did listen to old-time radios of Sherlock Holmes and The Shadow and stuff like that from America, because I was working night shift. And so it was a very handy thing to have just playing. I even listened to some audio commentaries as well from like a couple of TV shows and that sort of thing. But I haven't really had time these days. It's too hard. But, yeah.
Good. Down the front here, Dave.
I know this might be slightly off topic.
We love tangents.
Do you think AI that's all in the news lately, do you think that will be used in the future to bring back past companions that are that they're deceased, like to use their voices and that? I know you've got to get rights and everything, but you don't know what will happen in the future with all that sort of stuff.
That's an interesting question because I think all technology has its benefits. And there's also been an uproar with Big Finish in some corners of fandom with recasting old actors. So now we've gone past the recasting, gone to AI. Now there's going to be outrage about the recast actors as well. We'll always be outraged about something, but as long as it's used properly, I think maybe there is a use for it out there.
Yeah.
Hi. I haven't listened to any sort of audio stuff for quite a while, and I found I was getting quite fidgety if I was just sitting down. I'd plug a USB into my audio player, so I'd be looking at my TV and listening to a soundtrack, and I just couldn't relax. So I think maybe I listen to sort of podcasts and audios more when I'm driving, or just so I can actually relax more and not fidget about so much. It's just sort of trying to keep still, I guess.
Your podcasts aren't so bad because they're not something that you can drift away from and then come back and it matters too much.
Yeah.
Whereas audio, as long as you listen, I like the clicks. But with audio, if you drift off and then you come back, you go, what the heck is going on? So you have to give a bit more attention. You probably have to give as much attention to audio as you do to television.
Yes.
So, but you have to put a little bit more work in and put those pictures in.
Yeah, sure.
I should have been I was a bit remiss in fact, I've just finished backing an audio drama called True Noir, which is written by Max Allan Collins, the writer of the Local Edition. And so I'm just waiting for the Kickstarter now to be finalised. And again, it's going to be a 10-part audio drama with a lot of well-known actors like Katie Sackhoff and I think they've got Michael Ironside or something. Anyway, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's a detective set in the 1930s. So
Michael Ironside's still going.
yes,
Man.
like that.
I had one question for Aaron. Do you sell Big Finish in your store? You do. You do? What's the feedback on your customers with Big Finish?
So I think the feedback is there's so much Big Finish now, it's actually hard to have a collection because the collection has become so vast. It's actually hard to store it somewhere. So a lot of people have gone from physical media over to downloads, which makes things simple. I think the other thing I get feedback, and this is honest just as a retailer, is it's too expensive and they release so much of it, it's a financial burden to collect everything, and maybe less of it would make it more special. Because if there was less of it, then it's more of an event rather than going, oh no, we've got to save up for the next 3 box sets that are coming out this month, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's why it's very special, because it's very expensive.
The more expensive, the more special.
Yeah.
My interesting story about audios goes way back. I've always been a fan, and so I love inflicting my family with Doctor Who, even though they don't like it. So we go right back to Slipback and the Pescatons when they first came out on tape.
Slipback is awesome.
It is. But maybe not driving down to Brighton on a family holiday or something like that.
How to split up the family.
Yeah. But they tolerated that, but I remember going to, I think it was like a record fair or something, and picking up probably the hardest audio to listen to in a car with your family, Doctor Who, the special effects. I want to listen to the whole thing and I won't let them take it out. And it's like Time Lord Stazer, 5 blasts. Sonic Screwdriver, 20 seconds. But yeah, so I've had audio in my life as long as I can remember.
Fantastic. On that note, thank you very much, Aaron. Thanks, Dave, for the microphone.
If you enjoyed what you heard in this clip from the Sirens of Audio podcast, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss out on another episode from us. And if you want to find out more about us, including our back catalogue of episodes, you can head over to sirensofaudio.com.